This one comes to us from the New York Post. Here's one for all of you New York taxpayers. An NYPD deputy commissioner enjoyed a recent swanky night out in the city of brotherly love, that's Philly, ferried back and forth by an official chopper on the taxpayer's dime. Now, Deputy Commissioner Robert Ganley, the double-dipping head of the NYPD's Employee Relations Unit, was acting as a fill-in for the top cop, Demo Che, at the annual Army-Navy Gala on December 10th in Philadelphia, when he enjoyed the perk involving an aircraft, that's a chopper, usually in reserve or helicopter. Helicopter mechanics do not like you to call it a chopper. They say a chopper is something you ride this way. A helicopter is something you ride this way. I used to be in the Army with some helicopter mechanics that would say that. I digress. Ganley enjoyed the perk of the helicopter, reserved for such things as monitoring potential emergencies during protests, police officials confirm. The helicopter started its flight, described as irregular by multiple police sources, at Floyd Bennett Field around 4:30 p.m. that Friday, picking up Ganley at the downtown Manhattan heliport and then taking off around 5:30 for Philadelphia. That's according to data by FlightAware. The drive would have been about 2.5 to 3 hours from lower Manhattan to the club, according to Google Maps. Sergeant Jessica McRory told the Post the properly authorized use of a department aircraft was to ensure that Deputy Commissioner Ganley would also be able to honor prior commitments on both Friday and Saturday. The flight was signed off on by Shea, that's the top cop, and followed department protocols, according to Sergeant McCrory. But critics ripped the NYPD resources for Ganley, who pulls in nearly $400,000 between his department pension for his time on the force and his current civilian post with the police department. He's a double dipper, see? New York City Councilman Robert Holden, who sits on the council's Public Safety Committee, said this needs to be investigated. Talking about the flight. Holden speculated that the poor decision to allow it was due to a lame duck police administration that is checked out. He said, he said people actually commute to work in Manhattan from the Philly or Cherry Hill area. They could have found some other way, train or driving. A police source called the flight a waste of resources, saying it's a worthy event, but to send him in an expensive helicopter when it's a short drive, it's not like he was going 8 states away, according to the source. The source goes on, for 9/11 stuff, I usually give lots of slack, but come on, the money spent on helicopter fuel would have been better spent on going into a September 11th Survivors Fund. FDNY Fire Chief Commissioner Daniel Negro was invited to the event, but also sent someone in his place, a fire chief who drove the 100 miles each way as a standard protocol for the fire department, according to an agency spokesperson. While the exact cost of Ganley's jaunt isn't known, it's clearly more than the price of gas and tolls in a car or train ticket. Taxpayers are likely on the hook for at least $1,200 in fuel for the helicopter, which reportedly costs about $600 in fuel per hour to fly, and the salaries of the NYPD pilots who were at the helm, who make more than $100,000 annually. Basically, let me get to it, is that you have this police chief, and it goes down. I'm going to put a link to it in the description box so you can read the whole thing, because it goes down from there. I'm not going to read anymore. But this fire department commissioner, he drives, because he's like, you know what? I just drive. It's 100 miles. The police department, however, well, we got to get the NYPD is more important than the fire department. Come on. So they fly in a helicopter at taxpayers' expense. They don't even use money from the police department fund or their Christmas budget or whatever. They use taxpayer money. They don't make him pay for it. The guy, as much money as he makes, he could have paid for that flight both ways. He could have took a plane from one of the airports in New York to Philly airport and then just had a limo pick him up and take him there or something. I don't know. And he could have paid for that. But he's making y'all pay for it because, come on now. How far does $400,000 pension and a salary get you in New York?